Hi everyone, my name is Rishabh Bhargav and today we at Musicians Mall in Berkeley, California have made a video for you to find out whether your harmonium arrived safe after shipping, it works and plays well, and even if you have an old harmonium, you can still refer to this video to find out whether it needs any repairs or not. Harmonium shipping has increased throughout the world. Many people are still unaware about how a harmonium functions and what are its features. Some people living in small, beautiful towns order harmoniums online hoping that they get a nice instrument. In this video, I will point out 7 ways to check these aspects in your instrument. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. With your support, we will continue to make videos to address each of these issues. Thank you. Point 1 is opening and closing a harmonium. This is something that you're going to do every single time you play your instrument. Some harmoniums open and close differently, and some of them do not do that. The ones that don't are called the standalone harmoniums. The ones that do open and close from a suitcase, they do it differently. You should be able to open and close your harmonium correctly to ensure that your instrument plays well and lasts long. Today, I'm going to show you the 3 most popular styles of harmoniums and how we can open and close them correctly. This is our most popular harmonium, which is the Kirtan Deluxe harmonium. We open the harmonium by moving the metal square bars away from each other, which opens the latches. We open the lid and remove it from the hinges at the back, and we just keep it on the side. To further move ahead, we pull up the inner box from the sides of the instrument above the levers. So you can feel the levers on both the sides. We pull the harmonium above the levers to let the inner box sit on the outer box. We then open the bellows. Since I'm going to be pumping with my left hand, I will open the bellows from the left hand side, and you can open the air stops. I will get to what the bellows are and the air stops are a little later in this video. Every other one is the air stop. So 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. These are the air stops. We can pump the harmonium a couple of times and just play the keys. Once you're done playing the instrument, you can just close the bellows and press the keys at the same time. This removes all the excess air from the instrument. We close the bellows, push in all the air stops, and now we pull on those levers, which retracts the metal bars on both the sides, and then the inner box will just slide down. We take the lid, connect it with the hinges at the back, close the lid, close the latches, and the harmonium is closed. This style is the Safri style harmonium, which is very popular with Bina harmoniums and a few other brands. We open the harmonium by opening the hooks from both the sides, taking the top, flipping it to the back, and then with your fingers, you need to push the metal bars on both the sides of the instrument, left and right, which releases the inner box. The inner box needs to be pulled upwards. Once it does that, the inner box again sits on the outer box. We connect the hooks from both the sides once again. And your instrument is now almost ready to be played. We open the bellows from the center. We open the air stops to let the air enter inside the instrument. We can pump the harmonium a couple of times and play the same notes. Once we are done playing the instrument, we again pull in the bellows and press on the keys to remove any excess air from the instrument. We close the bellows, push in the air stops, unhook the hooks from both the sides, flip back the top, and now with your fingers you press the metal bars on both the sides of the instrument. Once you do that, the instrument will just slide down by itself. You'll hear the click sound on both the sides. We take the hooks and we just hook the harmonium once again. This is how we close the Safri style harmonium. The third style is the standalone harmonium, which does not need to be open or closed. You'll usually find this in the inexpensive range. Point 2 is ensuring that the latches are latched and the hooks are hooked of your instrument. These are some latches and these are some hooks. Before playing the instrument, you need to ensure that these are connected properly. Doing this creates good airflow in your instrument and it increases the sustain. We will get to the sustain part later in this video. Point 3 is the air stops and drone stops should work smoothly. Usually on any harmonium, the larger ones are the air stops and the smaller ones are the drone stops. So what are the air stops and drone stops? The air stops lets the air enter into the reed chamber from the internal bellows. So the instrument, when pumped from the outer bellows, the air enters into the outer bellows and then into the internal bellows, and once the air stops are open, the air enters into the reed chamber, and once you press down a key, it produces sound. The drone stops are connected to individual specific reeds, usually different notes, and once the air stops are open, you can pull out one of the drone stops and you'll get sound. On some harmoniums, the air stops are open when you pull out the air stop. On Paul and Company harmoniums, the air stops are open when the air stops are pushed in. You need to ensure that the air stops and drone stops are opening and closing smoothly. Point 4 is checking the airflow and sustain in your harmonium. One of the very important aspects of any musical instrument is the sustain. Sustain means that when you play a single note, multiple notes, or a chord, how long does the sound last? Having more sustain means that you have a nicer instrument. To check the airflow, you should open out all the air stops. In this case, I'm pulling them out. And once you have the bellows open, in this case, the left hand side, you can pump the instrument 2 to 5 times until you feel resistance from the bellows. You won't be able to pump more. Do not over pump the instrument. In this case, let's try this harmonium. Pump 1, pump 2, pump 3, pump 4. So on pump 4, the instrument gets full, which means that the instrument is holding air inside it and it's not leaking somewhere. To check the sustain, you can pump the instrument a couple of times and then play a 2-finger chord. You can play the instrument even a 3-finger chord. Or even a single note. This instrument sustains for about 10 to 12 seconds with a single note, 5 to 6 seconds approximately on a chord, which means that it has good sustain. A larger harmonium will have more sustain because it has more air storage capacity inside. Point 5 is playing all the keys on your harmonium. So once the air stops are open, the bellows, you can pump them a little bit, and then we're going to play all the keys. Pump, pump.
So once we've played the harmonium, we want to find out whether there are any sticky keys, any buzzing reeds, or any other minor common issues. Sticky keys are when you press down a key, it does not come back up naturally. So it kind of gets stuck somewhere around the keys or the back of the key, so it gets stuck. And buzzing reeds is when you press down a key, you'll hear a buzzing sound, which is like a zzz sound. So one of the reeds probably would be buzzing inside. So these are minor common issues that can be fixed yourself. But if you have a new instrument, please contact the store that you bought the harmonium from, or contact a local harmonium luthier who can help you fix these issues. You can also check our other videos that we will be putting out to address these issues, and we have some videos right away.
Point 6 is wood warp. The main raw material used to make a harmonium is wood. The wood needs to be completely dry before making any musical instrument. Many makers store this wood for months and years in large dehumidifying rooms till they get completely dry. This adds to the cost of the harmonium. Some makers, on the other hand, use wet wood to make the instruments faster. These harmoniums are cheap and problems could arise within a few months. You may then end up spending a lot of money repairing them. Sometimes you can't repair them at all. In India, these problems arise much later because of high humidity. But when these instruments are shipped to North America, Europe, or Australia, the wood starts to warp much sooner. You should be aware of this, and we highly recommend you to purchase a harmonium from a trusted store. Point 7 is having the harmonium in tune. This is very important. Harmoniums detune with change in weather, different seasons, and even naturally. You don't want a harmonium coming to you from a warehouse where it could have been there for a few months or even years. Having the harmonium tuned is part of a very basic setup that should be done before shipping. Harmonium tuning is not easy and we don't recommend you trying it. There are two other features in some harmoniums, a coupler and a scale change mechanism. Let's see what those are.
Here we have our Kirtan Deluxe harmonium, and here is our coupler bar. So the coupler is right now disengaged when it is pulled towards us on this harmonium. So what we press is the same note that we get. In this case, the middle C. But when the coupler is engaged, it plays the same note on the higher octave. On a Delhi style harmonium, the coupler usually couples to the right hand side or the same octave on the higher side. On a Calcutta style harmonium, the coupler couples to the left hand side or the lower octave, same note. This adds a little flavor to the harmonium. It sounds a little more harmonious. The scale change feature is a feature you'll usually find in a Calcutta style harmonium. You'll find it just under the keys in the center of the instrument. Suppose you play a piece of music and you learn it at home in the key of C. You go out for a concert and the singer wants you to play the same piece of music in a different key. You can change the scale from the scale change mechanism if available, and you will be able to play the same piece of music with the same notes, but it's going to sound maybe higher or maybe lower. It just works like a capo on a guitar, and it's an important feature to have for some people who play Indian classical music.
These instruments are handmade and minor issues in them are common. You should learn more about your instrument and we will continue to make videos to help you. Please reach out to us if you have any questions. Our email address is store@musiciansmallusa.com. We will be happy to help you. Namaste.